Hi, I'm Brian Weiser, Global President of Business Intelligence of Group M. I hope you've enjoyed Outside the Box, Wavemaker's provocative series on what's next in TV and audiovisual media. I'm here to wrap things up with a look at all the recent M&A action in this space and what it means for brands. The biggest single thing to hit the space in recent years has been what Warner Media and Discovery are going to do, and that is to say the combination of those two companies. A great move ultimately for Discovery if they wanted to maintain relevance in the long run, and a good move for AT&T if they weren't really willing to bury or carry the burden of investing in Warner Media. Warner Media itself, they were really setting a lot of new paths forward that were going to help establish, I think, future standards for much of the industry. They were doing really well, I think, establishing a very consumer-friendly, consumer-first model for what a media company should look like. At the end of the day, Netflix and Amazon are still the leaders globally. And I think that under Discovery, Warner Media will be fine. There's a year and a half where they're going to be pausing, though, and that's problematic for Warner in terms of their ability to keep moving forward on what they were trying to do. And to be clear, what they were doing was really burning all the boats. They were destroying businesses left and right if they were non-essential in terms of Warner Media establishing its global goals. All of those efforts are going to be paused, I think it's safe to say, at least until the Discovery transaction closes, assuming it does. At which time, Discovery is, as I say, in a much better position than it would have been. Warner Media, well, they'll have lost a year and a half of progress, so that's unfortunate for them. But that does also buy time for some of the other large media companies to figure out how they're best going to market. Certainly look at Viacom. Lots of potential. I think it's worth pointing out that they have many different plays and many different strategies. I think it's going to be pretty clear that having more of a singular strategy will ultimately be what drives a lot of growth. Between them and Comcast, I think we'll see a move towards something like that, where, like Netflix, you have a really monolithic business model that operates not just in one market, but markets around the world. Disney's going forward with at least 2 or 3, depending on how you count it, 4 if you include ESPN Plus. Again, I think they'll probably simplify over time. Maybe you can get away with one super premium product like a Disney Plus and one kind of more general entertainment product. But I think that over time, we'll see that those who invest the most in content will ultimately be the companies who are best positioned to dominate. Now, what we're not seeing is enough investment from European media owners. European media owners, other than Nordic Entertainment, which is relatively small, are not investing enough to maintain their relevance 5 years from now. Now, that's okay if you think that you can get government regulation on your side to really harm the US-based global companies that are taking over their markets and investing heavily in local market content. But because those companies are investing in local market content produced in the country, it's not clear that regulators are going to try to push the US conglomerates out of business. What that means is you're going to see an increasing role for the US-based media companies as sellers of TV-based advertising more and more in markets around the world. That really speaks to where the implications are. That you're going to see increasing consumption by consumers of content in streaming environments, increasingly through these US-based media companies operating globally. That's going to have implications because the best practices for working with this content, whether how you target consumers, whether how you integrate content with brands, frankly, developing content and programming that can run globally. All these best practices are going to evolve, and I think they're going to be more and more globally relevant. So I think that's maybe one of the most important takeaways for marketers to be thinking about. Again, the key metric to look at is how much is being spent on content by a given media owner in a given country. And when you add up all the US-based media companies and what they're spending in individual markets, whether it's France or Germany, the UK, Italy, China, well, China may be an exception, Korea, Japan, that's going to drive audience share. And the audience share will drive advertising opportunities, even if these are ad-light environments, which many of them will be. Anyways, that is probably the most important thing going on in the television space and really what's driving M&A this year and for the foreseeable future. I hope you enjoyed this session. Look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thanks very much.